Hot 93.3, Lagos.
All right.
Great conversation and lifestyle engagement with JIB. JIB Live on Hot 93.3.
Hello. It's good to be here. There's traffic everywhere. The destination will probably just take me like 2 minutes. I spent 30 minutes. I was just, I don't know what's going on, but everywhere is just really packed. I need to catch my breath. So how you doing? It's JIB Live on Hot 93.3, and you know what we do. It's good music, great conversation, and today is no different. I have a very interesting topic I'd like us to talk about. So get ready. You know what to do. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at hotfm_Lagos, and you send all of your messages to me on 0818-008-9933. I'll be taking all of your messages as usual. So let's get into the day. Let's get into the topic of today. I'll tell you all about it when I come back. I need to catch my breath. Enjoy this music. All right, this is JIV Live on Hot 93.3. Okay, so what are we talking about today? There's a lot I want to talk about, but time is not my friend. I mean, never my friend on this show, but you know what to do. Send me WhatsApp message on 0818-008-9933. I talked about the whole side chick and angry wives, but it's such a typical topic and people have gone back and forth, and the answers are actually very straightforward, and so what I really want to know is, if you have to change anything about the Nigerian marriage in quotes, what would it be? Let's put the question that way. I think it will give us a richer conversation than just the side chick and the angry wife situation. If you have to change anything about the Nigerian marriage, what would it be? What would you like to change about the Nigerian marriage? Whilst I'm waiting for your comments, I would like to talk about stuff I found on social media while I was really coming down to the studio. Also, so Cardi B, something came up from her past where she talked about drugging and robbing men while she was still on the streets hustling, and so she did talk about the fact that when she meets guys at the club and they have to take her to their home or to hotel, that she would drug them and then rob them and even rape them. And a guy came out to say that it happened to him. Somebody introduced him to Cardi B at the club, and he invited her over to his, I think it was a hotel, and they were drinking when they got to the hotel, and then he had to use the restroom. And so when he came out of the restroom, he took his drink and he said that was the last thing he remembered. And when he woke up the next day, his money was gone. Some of his designer stuff were missing. He tried to reach out to her to know what's going on because he knew she was the one who took it, and nothing happened from there. And I'm just here wondering, and of course, a lot of people had different things to say online. A lot of people are even saying, she's moved on, it's in her past. It was, it's the hustle. But I'm here thinking, what if it was a guy though? What if it was a man that did this to women? What if it was a man that did this to women, drugged women, raped them, and took all of their possession? There is not one person on the face of the earth that will have the audacity to go online and say, it was a phase in his life. He was hustling. I'm not even into gender wars. I'm just saying that what is good for one gender should be good for the other. If we are talking about equality, then wrong is wrong. A crime is a crime. All right. It also reminds me of the way Solange attacked Jay-Z in the elevator, and how people just came out to say, you don't know what prompted that. You don't know why she was angry. Probably he was cheating, and on. Like, what are you saying? She was attacking this, and these are feminists. People who say, she's featherweight, so I'm very sure the blows she was giving to him wasn't that painful. I'm like, yo, come on. You can't keep twisting your mouth like this. And that's why I try not to be defined by any label, because these things, it's your bias that is at work most of the time. Who is on your side? I mean, whose side you are on? It's bias. Everything, it doesn't really have to do with the truth. Okay, so this Cardi B thing is just shocking to me. How people are saying it's her. Guys were robbed. Guys were raped. I know it's always funny when they say this thing about men, but it's true. They do rape boys, and she stole from them. And all you're going to say is a hustle, is that she has moved on. Come on, though. Come on. You wouldn't give that much space. You wouldn't give that much, you won't accept it if he was a man. You wouldn't accept that kind of, whether he did it as, even when if he was even 13, he would pay for it the minute it comes out in the open. You won't give him that much allowance to be bad. All right. So let's just try and be fair. When we do all of these things, I'm not a fan, of course, I'm not a fan of her music, but I respect her craft. I respect her talent. I respect what she's done. And this whole idea of comparing her with Nicki, I don't even know how Nicki got into all of this conversation on social media. The media obviously does not like Nicki. They don't like her. I don't know why. Because no matter what Cardi B does wrong, she just doesn't seem to be paying for it as much as they allow Nicki to pay for her. But that's just a long conversation I'm not getting into. The only thing I wanted to point out is, if you rob somebody, you drug somebody, you rape somebody, no, it doesn't go under the fact that it was in your past. People were hurt. How about that? How about paying for that? Okay, let's take some music and I'll be back.
If you want to get up and you don't give up what you say, wine for you, take it slow.
Okay, we're still here, and I want to get your comments and opinions on this topic. If you have to change anything about the Nigerian marriage in quotes, what would it be? You know what it is? The Nigerian marriage. If you have to change anything about it, what would it be? I was going to talk about the side chick versus angry wives. That's just a very straightforward conversation that probably would just end in 10 minutes. But this is a broader conversation. Let's talk about if you need to change anything. You've witnessed your parents' marriage. You probably are witnessing yours. You've seen friends who are married. You've seen uncles and aunts and cousins. So if all of these observations you've had and your own personal experience, if there's anything at all you need to change about the Nigerian marriage, in quote, what would that be? Okay, I'm going to start taking your comments when I get them. So it's 081800899933. I still have topics that I picked from on social media. Now, Charlie Boy is out again to say that Festus Keyamo did not give him any money. Last week, he said he got 7 figures from a song. I didn't even believe it when I heard it, when he said that, by the way. And all of this started because Deji said on Twitter that he doesn't want to have anything to do with Mumu Don't Do movement anymore. The Mumu Don't Do movement is obviously something Charlie Boy started. And okay, so that started from there, and the conversation has stretched from there because Deji felt Charlie Boy has not been sincere with his mission and whatever it is he stands for, and all of that. Now, Charlie Boy, I'm not a fan of these people, but I do have something that bothered me for a while about Charlie Boy, and I think it was during the Derelay's kissing situation. Okay, so, and that's because I heard the Derelay's part in one of the Netflix comedy videos that he was interviewed. And I've always felt that way about, hey, you are the older person. How come you put this person in the situation? But then when they really shared that story, it made me realize, oh, come on, this is wrong. Now, I'll say it the way he said it. For those of you who haven't seen that comedy skit and the interview that was done. So Derele says that, he was invited for a photo shoot with Charlie Boy, and he was quite excited. I mean, who wouldn't be, right? Because I wouldn't be, but I mean he would, because it's entertainment. They're all in the same industry and all of that. It means something to him. It's like maybe Oprah coming to call me. I mean, she's like an idol, right? Media and all of that. So yeah, so he was excited and he went there. And then when he got there, Charlie Boy said something like, "Let's kiss." And then and he was a bit, but he did it because, I mean, what's in a kiss, right? And then the pictures were taken, and Darren said he traveled, and he didn't know. And Charlie Boy put the picture out there in the public, on social media, on the internet, without informing Darren. So he just heard about, people were calling him, and the panic from maybe family, friends, and well-wishers. They just panic. What's going on? Why are you kissing this man? And all of that. And he put that thing out without telling the younger person that he did that. That is so irresponsible. And they really said he lost endorsements because of that. He lost his Sound City job because of that. And of course, even when he was doing that interview, he tried not to blame Charlie Boy, because he just, people don't like the drama. People don't like he didn't want to bring another situation from that interview. But I mean, it's so obvious to know it was wrong. It was wrong. You ruined his, he's still flying. Thank God Derele is still, he's still trying to manage his job. But, we wouldn't know how bad it was until he said it. He lost a job because of that act. He lost endorsements because of that act. Certain people tried to stay away from him because of that act. Companies that needs to feed into his brand as a celebrity. He lost all of that because he did something with you, and you took it out there in public just for the heck of it. But you're destroying somebody's life, and people don't, because in Nigeria and all this person is older. Ageism stops us from addressing older people and telling them you're wrong. And that's the problem I have had even growing up as a young person. The fact that I can't tell my parents that they are wrong. I don't understand it. I always tell my kids that, if I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. And and sometimes we sit down and I tell them that, okay, what don't you like about me? What don't you like about my mothering skills? Let's have a conversation. It's just a conversation. You can't keep shutting people down because they are younger, So all of this old and no old thing, wisdom has nothing to do with age. Some of the wisest people I know are younger than I am. And I respect them. My mentor was a younger person for a very long time. And it just doesn't make any sense to me so that particular situation had made me realize that, this guy, man, I can't take somebody like that seriously. And then you have this whole situation with Deji, and then lying about they gave you money, they didn't give you money. It's so childish, it's so unnecessary, and you're doing videos upon videos upon videos. They didn't give you the money, we've heard. They gave you the money, we've heard. And let's move on. And that also goes to the fact that, anyway, the lifestyle that we need to, sometimes people say these things because they need the word to grow out there so that whatever they are saying might actually come true. Right? So they say these things. It's just like if Funada saying that she earns 5 million a day. Come on. Okay. Selling hair products in Nigeria. Okay. Now, it might not be happening, but it's something she's probably hoping would happen. So sometimes we say these things hoping that, okay, whoever we are putting in that situation will pick up from it and do something about it. But then you wait a week and nothing happens, and then you realize, let me just go back and say that it didn't happen. So that's something I saw, and I'm like, come on, this is just not the kind of vibe we need people to have. It's just not it at all. So let me get your comments on, if you have to change anything about the Nigerian marriage, what would it be? I want to know. I'll take your comments as I read stuff I see on social media. I have Electricity here by Silk.
Welcome.
Okay, so the question is, if you have to change anything about the Nigerian marriage, what would it be? I have comments here. Olivia says, if there's anything I would like to change about the Nigerian marriage, it would be how the women are treated when they cheat. Oh, okay. Why is it a taboo that a married woman finds another man attractive, but it's perceived as normal when it happens to a man? I would love if it wasn't such a big deal when a married woman is found unfaithful. If the society can normalize men's cheating by saying they are polygamous in nature, I seriously think they should give women a break also. She cheated doesn't make her a bad wife. You guys serious? Okay, I hear you. I think what we should actually be addressing is the cheating. It's not good for any gender, whether the man or the woman. Not the fact that, because if you're going to normalize cheating, then why are you getting married? Why are you getting married into relationships where you proclaim that you are, exclusive? I think that is a deeper conversation than just saying everybody should just become whatever they want to become in the marriage. But I thank you for your comment. I have another one here from Ezini. Ezini says, for me, it's going to be the one-sidedness of the commitment. The mentality that it's a woman that should hold a marriage. The fact that she shouldn't dare to have a dream and accomplish that dream all because of marriage. The burden is unrealistic and unfair. Good morning, Joy. Have a splendid day. Thank you. Good morning to Ezine. I agree. I think yeah, the mentality that when you are in a marriage, there's so much you can't. I don't even understand how women are really trying. You just give up everything, right? You just give up everything because of marriage. It's really is a very strong thing. It's a very strong concept that doesn't favor one gender, and it's just something that always goes through my mind. That how do you just give up everything? So yeah, I think I agree with Ezine. Something like that needs to be addressed, but it's a deeper conversation than just pointing it out. I have one here from, let me see, Osas. Osas says, good morning, Joy. I will change the ultimate patriarchy system that is dominant in most Nigerian marriages, because I believe everyone should have a say. Everyone should be equal. Well, the whole concept of marriage in itself, I don't even know. People, when you talk about marriage, a lot of people bring in religion. And religion, at least Christianity, the Bible, the one I've read is the Bible. It does mention the fact that women should be submissive. But I think we take it so far in, it's a selfish aim now. It's a selfish motive now in the world where, the ultimate task is actually for the man to love the woman. But nobody really pays attention to that because we have trivialized love to a point. But if you look at where the Bible is probably coming from, I'm not a priest, but if you look, I am thinking that if you look from the point where the Bible is coming from, it would be because it would be the kind of love that Jesus had for the church, where he died for the church. Now, I'm not saying husbands should go die physically for the church, but it just shows ultimate sacrifice for your family. Like, everything is about them. Everything is about them. And that is the kind of love a lot of people would, if Ann Robert come today, the man would even jump out the window and leave his family there. That's not love. And if you can't say, okay, I will take a bullet for my family, I'll take a bullet for my wife, then maybe you shouldn't be asking for ultimate submission. So it's a really tricky situation where you have to love and then you request submission. But that is why I actually like the Bible, because Paul also said, you don't have to be married though. It's better if you're not, because if you don't want to go into all of that structured situation where you're submitted to anybody, then don't be married. So yeah, so I think there's just no way you're going to change that whole submission thing when it comes to religion. It's always going to be that way because there is a text that they follow. Okay, there's a text that they follow, unless you're going to marry out of religion, and then maybe you can now start to redefine what you want and partnership and things like that. All right, let me take one more before I go on a break. I have Ifreke here. Ifreke says, okay, I would really love to change the stereotyped age one is expected to be married, such that if you're not married at that age, you'd be under some pressure, self-induced or external. And I would like the idea of marriage to be something that just happens more, like you stumble upon it, not something you have to actively look forward to. You guys are angry today. I knew this topic was going to be that topic. Okay, there's something my friend usually says, Bimbo ala amao, I have to call her full name. She says, we were at a conference and she was speaking at that conference, and she said, she would advise young women, and the moderator asked her a question, and she said and then Bimbo said she would advise young women to live a full life, a full, complete life, do everything they want to do before they get married. So that they don't keep looking back and having any kind of resentment and regret because of the life they should have lived or something like that, or get to a place of real good comfort of your dreams, of your aspirations before you put yourself in a position of, getting married. This is 2019 contemporary discussion, by the way. And, if it makes anyone feel uncomfortable, this is just the kind of conversation we have in 2019. Okay, so Bimbo is on WhatsApp. Hi, Bimbo. She says, if there's anything I would change in the Nigerian marriage, will be change the idea and mentality that a woman should be the one doing all the house chores. Doing this and doing that because she's the woman of the house is not good. The balance should be there. Love your show, GIB. Preach on. Thank you, Bumi. Bumi, this one, I agree. I hate chores. If anybody is going to define me by chores, that person is going to not have a good time. I remember when my mother, you know how our mothers, how they share their stories when they were about to get married or when they are looking for the endorsement of their relatives, of the in-laws. So my mom was sharing the story of when she got married to my dad, and then they went to, well, not married because they were dating, you know, they were dating. It wasn't formal marriage. They were just dating, and he has decided he was going to be with her. And my father is a very smart guy, by the way. He didn't marry anyone. So when he took her to the village as the one, so in the village, and my mom she was out telling me the story as an adult long time ago, and she said, she hadn't received the blessings of her in-laws in quotes, and they were not exactly on her side. They wanted somebody else for my father, so she was there to prove to them that she was, you know, the one. And she said that was how they went to the stream, because they wanted to see how well she could carry a bowl of water, how she could balance it. And she's telling me this with pride, like, you know, I nailed it. I nailed this wife material stuff. So she now, you know, she carried the whole big basin of water on her head. And she told me that as she balanced it on her head, that her hand did not even touch the bowl. And she was just walking, and the bowl was like a crown on her head. And when she got to the compound, everybody was clapping. I was like, yo. Number one, the bowl is not a crown. Number two, I am so happy I wasn't born in that generation. Actually, if I was born in that generation, I would change the narrative. I know myself very well. I would change that narrative. There's no way I am going to be judged based on a bowl of that. You know how heavy bowls are with water in it, and not carry it and not hold it with your hand. I hate chores. So if at all we're doing this stuff again called marriage, that chore thing, I'm not even sharing it with anybody. I will get somebody to do everything, just like I am doing right now. So Bumi, I totally agree with you. Let's get some music. I have Start to Dance. I'll be back. Hey, this is JIB live on Hot 93.3. I have more messages here. I'll just take this one from Chibuzo. Okay, Chibuzo says, Nigerian marriage encourage unfaithful and irresponsible men, while the woman is brainwashed to tolerate and be submissive regardless of her husband's character. These double standards are ridiculous. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Chibuzo. I have one here from Shegun. Shegun says, so every marriage is unique. So when we say Nigerian marriages, it may only apply to a few things that are generally prevalent in most. I would like to change the expectation regarding having a certain number of children or any at all. Many Nigerians spend a better part of their adult life raising children and not actually enjoying companionship, which I believe is one of the main purpose of marriage. You know, this is legit. I actually do believe that you get to choose the number of children you want, or if you want them at all. Marriage doesn't necessarily mean you have to have children. I've heard people, I remember when, you have assistants who work for you, and then they come every time they're giving birth, and you keep asking them, where's the money to take care of all of these children that you're giving birth to? And you keep saying, but we are married now. No, you're an adult. Use your brain. Just because you're married doesn't necessarily mean you have to keep giving birth to children. It's a lot of work. It's money. Don't you understand how expensive children are? You can't just keep giving birth to children you can't take care of. And that's why China did what they did when they did it, the one child per family, because the population explosion is not a myth. I know the African culture thinks, children, they are a blessing. They are a blessing, but you have to be able to take care of them for them to be a blessing to the world and to you and to themselves. And if you don't have a certain amount, if you can't afford it, because the truth is, even rich people, the people who actually have money, the billionaires of this world, they don't have too many kids, right? So we make this whole childbearing thing some kind of recreational activity. But the truth is, you are giving birth to children, human beings. If you bring them into the world and you can't take care of them, then you're adding problems into the world. You're adding evil into the world, not the child, But because you don't train the child would have to now become a problem to society, and then all of society will have to now try to fix that problem because they were not trained right. And then it becomes a problem. You get, because having a child is hard work. You have to put in the work to ensure that that child gets good training, understands how society works, add value to the society. If you don't do that, they become a problem to society. They grow up to become a problem. You know, all the situations all the problems we're having in the world are not caused by angels or demons. They're actually caused by human beings that were probably not properly trained. That is what happens when you have children you can't train. Children are great. They are good. They're a blessing to the world. But when they are not trained, they become adults that become a problem to the world. So I just feel we should start having that conversation where when I was growing up, I usually hear this whole, my mom would be greeting somebody like, this is your second child, it's remaining two, this is your third child, it's remaining one. As if she's the one that will go take care of the kids of the, and mothers are like that. They just feel like, but conversations are changing, narratives are changing. This is a new society. It's new knowledge is here. We have to embrace new knowledge. So you don't have to have kids if you're not ready for them. And even if you have money, and you still don't want to have kids, but you want to get married, you can't do that with somebody that is willing to do that. And the pressure, don't let the pressure get to you. Don't let the pressure get to you. So thank you for sharing that, Shagun. I'll take one more before I go on a music break. I have Chichi here. Chichi says, if I have to change anything about Nigerian marriage, it will be cutting off all funny expenses like traditional long lists given to the groom and his family. It's extortion of the highest order. I've seen where elders refuse bride to go home with the groom after traditional marriage simply because they came up with a list of extra cartons of drinks to be bought by the groom, even after he had provided everything on the first list. Another thing that should be cut off is the razzmatazz that comes with different colors of ashwebi. So unnecessary. Okay, Chichi, we hear you. And there is a link between all this bride price thing and submission thing, because where it's almost like you are buying the woman. Let me not go into all these things. This is very controversial. Where you buy the woman and you go in, of course he would expect submission, and then, so you can't just attack the submission part of it. You have to attack the entire cycle of what we see marriage to be and the preparation of marriage and where we place the woman and where we place the man and all of that. Because the whole submission talk that is getting everybody angry these days is just a fruit of a deeper problem. You go to the roots and deal with the roots, and maybe we will find a solution. Okay, I have Sunflower here. I'll be back.
JIB Live, lifestyle and music.
All right, I have Esosa here. I'm going to just read Esosa's comment. Time is up. I can't read everyone's comment, unfortunately. I'm just going to take as many comments as I can squeeze in. So Esosa says here, this is long. It says, there are a myriad of things I would change about the Nigerian marriage if I could, ranging from parental extended family interference, the notion that a marriage is less successful or happy if there are no children, the notion of submission foisted on marriage by religion and tradition, the concept of bride price, the practice of having title documents of properties of the couple in the name of the husband only, or supposedly in both their names but written as Mr. and Mrs. with just the husband's first name and surname following the prefix. Closely related to that is the practice of addressing the couple as Mr. and Mrs. with just the husband's first name and surname following the prefix. The wife addressing herself or being addressed by her first name followed by the husband's first name and surname. The wife having to change her religion or church denomination to her husband's after marriage. The requirement of the husband's written consent when a married woman wants to apply for an international passport. Granted, this was shut down by a court judgment some years back, but that was a thing that needed to be addressed by a court judgment. Is appalling. Or wants to apply for visa for her children. But seeing as the question says, if you could change anything and not everything about the Nigerian marriage, I could say I would want to change anything that basically strips a married woman of her identity and individuality in the Nigerian marriage. Woo, brother! We should have like 10 billion of you. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. That's something. Okay, I have Ada here. She says first, the duration. I would make it valid for 5 years only with the option of renewal of both parties. With the option of renewal if both parties want to continue the marriage. More people should accept with their full chest that one partner isn't enough for them. Open marriages should be more the norm than the farce that is most marriages today. Our culture is polyamorous. Our fathers and grandfathers had several wives. Their wives also took lovers. Wow. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Women should be less financially dependent. Money is the Nigerian god. They should worship it just as fiercely as the men. Children are not compulsory. We are already facing a population crisis. Whew. It's like when you guys just wait for me to come and then you start drafting all this intellectual stuff because you want to pour it on me, and I appreciate it. This is some deep level. You know what? Rounding up because my time is up. I agree with that 5-year clause. I agree with that 5-year clause. Anybody can say whatever they want to say. I agree. I'm going to read it again. First, the duration. I'll make it valid for 5 years only with the option of renewal of both parties. With the option of renewal if both parties want to continue the marriage. I totally agree with that. I just totally agree with that. But that is a conversation I cannot have right now because my time is up. I'm so sorry. I can't take all the comments. I have like 10 more comments. I'm so sorry. I may continue this tomorrow so I get to read this if I can't find anything great to bring up to the show. I just might continue the conversation on marriage and your thoughts about it. Thank you for being part of the show. I'm going to leave you in the hands of Mr. Easy and Simi with Surrender. I'll be here tomorrow again, and the news is next. Bye.
Lagos feels good. Lagos.
Hot 93.3 Lagos.
All right,